Support for Louisiana, the state we're in, is provided by
Entergy Louisiana is strengthening our power grid throughout the state. We're reinforcing infrastructure to prepare for stronger storms, reduce outages, and respond quicker when you do need us, because together we power life.
Additional support provided by the Fred B. and Ruth B. Ziegler Foundation and the Ziegler Art Museum, located in Jennings City Hall. The museum focuses on emerging Louisiana artists and is a historical and cultural center for Southwest Louisiana. And the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting and viewers like you. Thank you.
Is carbon capture the key to boosting the state's economy or a risky experiment?
And banana ball in the Superdome. We'll talk to a small-town guy competing on the state's biggest stage.
Plus, CBS News' David Begnaud puts Louisiana in the spotlight in all the right ways.
And a more perfect union. We'll explore Louisiana's road to Reconstruction at the old state capitol. Let's get started.
Let's get to it. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Jensen.
And I'm Johnny Atkinson. Much more on those top stories in a moment on this week's edition of Louisiana, the state we're in.
But first, Louisiana leads the nation in proposed carbon capture and sequestration projects. The fast pace of approvals is raising concerns with environmental groups and residents in the communities where these projects would be located. Here's a look at the pros and cons.
In the heart of Louisiana, the marshes stretch for miles, quiet, wild, and seemingly untouched. But beneath the surface, a new frontier of industry is taking shape: carbon capture and sequestration. Supporters say it could help reduce emissions and bring billions in investment. Critics warn it may also create new risks for local communities. Nationwide, more than 270 carbon capture projects are being proposed. That's according to the Environmental Integrity Project. Louisiana leads the nation with at least 65 proposals, followed by Texas with 48. In October of 2025, Governor Jeff Landry issued a moratorium on new CO2 injection permits while the state reviews regulations. Existing projects, however, are still moving forward. Most of the proposed projects are concentrated in Cameron Parish with 11 and Ascension Parish with 10. 30 projects would pull carbon dioxide directly from the air, while 35 would inject it deep underground. 11 CO2 pipelines are also proposed, along with one above-ground storage terminal. Combined, the projects aim to capture at least 33 million metric tons of carbon dioxide each year and store more than 135 million tons underground. Supporters say the technology could help Louisiana's heavy industries cut emissions while remaining competitive. But some environmental groups say the rapid expansion is raising serious questions. Abel Russ is Director of Law and Policy for the Environmental Integrity Project, the nonprofit that tracked these projects nationwide.
It makes me a little nervous because I don't think Louisiana regulators necessarily are equipped to deal with this onslaught of pretty high-tech stuff. There are a lot of questions that are very hard to answer that even the federal government has a hard time struggling with. So we're worried about the ability of a state agency that's probably underfunded and understaffed to handle all these applications.
Russ says one of his biggest concerns is whether state regulators have the resources to review the growing number of projects. He also says the pace of approvals may be outpacing the science.
Most of the carbon dioxide that's pumped underground is for enhanced oil recovery, and that basically just means you pump the carbon dioxide to push the fossil fuels back out. Alternatively, they could be using new carbon dioxide that they were generating from an industrial facility to pump underground to get the fossil fuels out. To which I would say in response, you could just not be extracting the fossil fuels at all, and that would probably be the best climate solution.
Supporters of the industry, however, say carbon capture could provide major economic benefits. Philip DeVilliers, Speaker of the Louisiana House, says the technology could help the state attract new industry while protecting existing energy jobs.
I support carbon capture. It's no secret. I think it's something that we need to learn as much as we can about and make sure that it's done safely in Louisiana. I've even been to sites where they do it in Texas, and they're doing it successfully there, and they're doing it safely there. For Louisiana to be a global competitor, and for the industries that are here today and the new ones that are coming in, for us to support them and to make sure that they're successful, is something that we certainly need to keep an open ear to, and open eyes to, and just an open door policy to.
But community advocates say residents aren't always being fully informed about projects near their homes. The Louisiana Bucket Brigade is now calling for greater oversight, especially as new projects are proposed in Ascension Parish.
The plan is for this pipeline from the ammonia plant, from CF ammonia plant, to run from West Ascension Parish over to East Ascension Parish and then into Livingston Parish. So there's a huge population that is exposed to this danger. And what we fear is with this expansion that's proposed with the help of carbon capture, that Ascension Parish would basically turn into Ammonia Parish.
Critics also point to safety concerns if CO2 pipelines were to fail. In 2020, a pipeline rupture in Satarsha, Mississippi sent 45 people to the hospital and forced evacuations.
The first responders, the fire trucks, actually were ground to a halt and couldn't even respond and protect people. Those are the sorts of scenarios that we are absolutely not prepared for. There are particulates, which is fine particles in the air associated with ammonia pollution. Bottom line is it's not good for your lungs and it's not good for your health.
As carbon capture projects continue to multiply in Louisiana, questions are mounting about the dangers, the oversight, and who is watching closely.
Do you hope the report where it says Louisiana leads the nation, do you hope it gets back to lawmakers here?
Yes, I mean one of the big concerns we have is just the pace at which this is happening, and I don't think anyone is really going to have a chance to catch up on the science and policy until it might be a little too late. Sometimes we have a really good back and forth with regulators if they take us seriously. In this context in Louisiana with CCS, that hasn't happened yet, but it could.
Let's take a look at what's going on this week in the world of sports.
Sports correspondent Victor Howell joins us now with more. What's going on this week?
Great to see you all. Of course, it's big basketball. LSU hosting the NCAA Regional this weekend at the Maravich Assembly Center. Some other teams also involved in basketball. Lots to talk about for sure. Last weekend, Louisiana had the chance to see 4 college teams advance to the NCAA tournament and dive right into March Madness, but only one was successful. The Southern men, along with the McNeese and Louisiana Tech women, all lost in their conference finals. But Southern's Lady Jaguars won the SWAC tournament, and for the second straight season, they're going dancing. Well, they played their first game as a play-in game Thursday night. The Lady Jags in action, facing Sanford for the right to advance in the tournament. Southern led for 60% of the game. It was nip and tuck throughout the game until the final minutes. The Lady Jags closed the game on a 14-2 run over the last 7 minutes, holding Sanford to just 1 made basket in their final 9 attempts. Jalea Reed scored 16 to lead the way. Demaya Porter had a double-double. And congrats to the Southern Lady Jags, who earned the 65-53 win. They will face regional number 1 seed South Carolina on Saturday. I mentioned McNeese losing out in the conference tournament and missing the chance to go to the NCAA tournament, but the Cowgirls were invited to the WBIT, and they were in College Station Thursday night facing regional number 12 seed Texas A&M, and the Aggies never had a shot. McNeese led the entire game, holding A&M to just 6 points in the first quarter and 20 at the half. Alasia Washington had 20 points and 8 rebounds to lead the charge, and the Cowgirls, as a team, forced 11 Aggie turnovers. They get the win in a laugher, 68-48. They never trailed in the ball game, scoring 20 points off of 18 Aggie turnovers. The next game for McNeese, they head out west to take on San Diego State. Also, in the WBIT, the Lady Texters from Louisiana Tech, who lost in the Conference USA Finals, well, they were in Houston facing the Rice Owls, who also lost in the conference final. Tech was getting blown out early in this one, but they fought all the way back to tie the game at 56 with back-to-back three-pointers. But after that, all of that energy it took to get them to that point, it was too much because Rice hit 2 clutch shots late on its home floor, including a three-pointer with under a minute to go. And the Owls gutted out a 5-point win. An incredible season for Louisiana Tech, having won the conference title and the Coach of the Year honors. But unfortunately, it ends in the first round of the WBIT as Rice wins it 66-61. Hey, speaking of Louisiana Tech, let's switch over to football and the hot mess that the school finds itself in right now. Look, we all know you can't be in 2 places at one time, but that's what's happening for Tech football, at least for now. Here's what happened. Last weekend, the Sun Belt Conference released the 2026 football schedule for its member teams. The Bulldogs will open at home before playing on the road at LSU and Baylor. Then they open up conference play in the Sun Belt Conference. Army, Louisiana at UL Monroe. But here's the issue. On Thursday, the day before that schedule was released, Conference USA released its football schedule, and guess what? It also includes Louisiana Tech. Remember, Tech announced it was leaving Conference USA a year ago to join the more regional-friendly and more budget-friendly Sun Belt Conference. We talked about this on Game Notes. But Conference USA isn't letting Tech go, at least not yet, saying the school did not follow formal protocol to leave the conference. So now, the University of Louisiana system has sued Conference USA to let Louisiana Tech out of its contract. So, guys, depending on which schedule you look at for Louisiana Tech, they're scheduled for 20 football games right now. We know that can't happen. But there are going to be a lot of schools on the national realm looking at this because with so many changes going on in football, with the lawsuits and everything else, this could have a big impact down the road. So we'll see what happens with Louisiana Tech.
I was just going to say, we'll have to wait and see.
It's going to impact a lot of schools, too.
Very interesting. Thank you. Well, staying with sports now, Morgan City native Bryce Grzafi dreamed of making it in the world of pro baseball, but those dreams took a turn. Now he's swinging his bat and showing off his dance moves on Louisiana's biggest stage with the Savanah Bananas.
America's pastime of baseball has had a sinking audience in recent years, now second to football in the national polls, but another form of baseball is now growing fast across the country.
Welcome to Savanah Banana Baseball, bringing their high-energy tour to Louisiana Caesar Superdome.
You can forget everything you know about traditional baseball. Banana Ball is a non-stop party, often called the greatest show in sports.
This is awesome, man. It's unlike anything we've ever seen before.
It's super exciting. We are so excited to be here.
Savanah Banana Baseball is an edge-of-your-seat growing sports league, touring the country and playing year-round, and attracting people of all ages.
This is amazing.
Amazing? What are you going to see?
I hope to see some good plays. I think it's super cool to be here because it's like a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
I ain't got no words, and I'm just so happy. Ever since my coach told me about them, I've just wanted to see them play ever since.
The Bananas took the field this past weekend at the Superdome, and for rookie Bryce Grzafi, it was the chance of a lifetime.
I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, whether I wanted to coach or get a real job. Yeah, I was randomly checking my Instagram DMs one day, and Banana Ball reached out to me and invited me to a tryout. Next thing you know, I went to the tryout, absolutely killed it, and here I am.
Bryce Grzafi was a three-sport star at Central Catholic High School in Morgan City, where he won a baseball championship and was named MVP in 2019.
What's it like playing in the Superdome?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. Words can't describe how crazy this is. Last night was crazy, and we're gonna look to make today even crazier.
Excitement built for the Bananas when two of New Orleans' biggest sports names took to the field. First came current Saints quarterback Tyler Shuck stepping onto the field and throwing a touchdown pass, followed by New Orleans legend Drew Brees, who stepped up to the plate with a bat, demonstrating the legend he created in New Orleans.
Do that, baby, let's go!
Tyler Gillum is the head coach of the Bananas. He says that when the league was created, they didn't realize how fast its fan base would grow.
When we first created Banana Ball, everybody said we're crazy. This is never going to work, and we're about to sell out the New Orleans Superdome 2 nights in a row.
The creators of Banana Ball noticed that fans often left the stadium early because the games were just too slow, so they came up with their own rules.
So what are some of the rules that make Banana Ball different?
Yeah, we've got the 2-hour time limit, which pretty much ensues that we're going to play 9 innings within the 2-hour time limits.
More rules keeping fans in their seats are the batters staying in the batter's box, no coach visits to the mound, and no walks. There's also an extra tall pitcher.
What are you doing up there?
Oh, just creating smiles. I tell you, that's what I try to do all across the country.
And the Bananas mascot is a 7-foot-tall banana named Split, known for his high-energy dance moves and interaction with fans. The league is growing with banana ball competition teams growing to now a 6-team competitive structure where any team can win.
So it's cool to see a lot of people come in and they've been waiting for this moment, and then they leave with a smile on their face and a bunch of memories.
It's going to be the most entertainment that you've ever seen in a sporting event. Our goal is when people walk away, they say this is the most fun sporting event that I've ever been to.
Watching the fast-growing sport of banana ball, you can see an umpire moonwalking, pitcher doing backflips, and even a batter walking on stilts.
And banana ball is now selling out in Major League Baseball and football stadiums, like this week's games in the Caesars Superdome.
Let's go Bananas!
Louisiana often makes national headlines, but CBS's David Begnaud is making sure the good news is part of that story. He's shining a spotlight on inspiring people here at home and across the country. I spoke with him about his newest venture. Joining me now is David Begnaud, a Lafayette native and a longtime CBS journalist. You recently launched a new venture called the Do Good Crew. It's a media company that produces uplifting storytelling about people doing great things in their community. And at the heart of it is a podcast. David, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure. Thanks for the invite, Christina.
Yeah, it's so nice to see a Louisiana native doing great things on the national scale. And how did this come about, the Do Good Crew?
It's really a continuation of what I've built at CBS, right? So I have this segment, Begnaud's America, where we like to say we found the heart in every story. But before I got to telling the good news, I told all the bad news, right? I was the lead national correspondent for the network. But it got to be too much in terms of I didn't want my life and my career to be defined by the worst happenings of what humans were doing to each other. And so I pivoted to the heartfelt stuff. We did Begnaud's America. I tell a lot of stories from around America, including Louisiana. So I do that at CBS, and I thought, but wait a minute, there's one key core component, which is I can't help affect change, but I want to do that. So I stepped back from my lead national correspondent role. I became a CBS News contributor, which permitted me to then start a company. And that company, the Do Good Crew, allows me to do what we're going to do, which is build a community to not only tell stories of people doing good, but to activate it, to work with brands, to work with, collaborators. I want to tell stories and continue doing what the world loves from me, but I actually want to help affect some change too.
And at the heart of it is a podcast. What is that podcast focus, and what do you hope people take away from it?
So it's called The Person Who Believed in Me. And really, the title and the intention behind it came from the person who believed in me at Turlings Catholic High School in Louisiana, in Lafayette. And it was a teacher my senior year who walked up to me and said, "What are you running from?" And, I had had a tough childhood with Tourette's and that kind of stuff. And so I remember opening up to her, and I did so in a way that really made me vulnerable for the first time and more approachable and relatable and softer and sweeter and likable and everything that I think human beings want to evolve into being. And I've been so profoundly grateful to that teacher that I've always wanted to give back, right? And I think one way of giving back is to talk about the person who believed in you before the world did. My first guest was Oprah, but we've had 2 Chainz the rapper, and we've had Barry Diller the media mogul, and we'll have Charlie Puth the singer, right? And so I just want to talk to people who are big names in their field, but I don't fawn over them. I sit in this chair in this studio, and we talk about the person who gave them a chance when nobody else would.
I love that. So in addition to the podcast, there's also going to be some live events. Can you talk about what people can expect at those events?
So the live events, imagine coming to a 2-hour event in New Orleans or Baton Rouge or Lafayette, where you come to sit and celebrate local heroes. What we will do is bring people on stage in conversation with me who are doing something incredible, things you haven't heard, right? It might be somebody who, saved someone's life. I want it to be sort of a little happy surge for your soul. Right? And so that's what these live events will be. We've already started planning them. We'll do it in partnership with CBS Mornings. So we'll promote it on CBS. And I am so, so excited about that. We also have a newsletter. We've got tens of thousands of people who follow our newsletter. I'm very proud of this newsletter, which is the space where we not only tell stories of people doing good, but we give them ways to activate, to join in, to help.
You talk a lot about your history in Louisiana, going back to the state. How do you feel like that has shaped you today?
Oh, I think so much of who I am and the way I tell stories, the stories that I pursue, And also, I would say, I haven't thought about this before. I think some of the down-homeness that I bring to the stories I choose comes from growing up in the Deep South. There's a heart of America, soul of America feel that comes from there, and it allows me, like, that's where the best stories are found. They're not in the big cities per se. There are great stories in big cities, but I think growing up in Louisiana has instituted in me the desire to tell stories about regular folks instead of famous folks.
Is there anything else you want to add that I haven't asked you that you want people out there to know?
I want people to know that this kid who grew up in Louisiana, who dreamed really big, is doing what he always wanted to do, but still loves going back to Louisiana, saluting Louisiana, and being grateful for having grown up in Louisiana.
Well, congratulations on your success, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Christina.
This year, PBS celebrated the life of the first African-American Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall, who paved the way for many to follow. But did you know how many important African-American firsts happened here in Louisiana, setting the stage for him? I visited the new exhibit, A More Perfect Union, at Louisiana's old state capitol, where you can learn more about how African-Americans in Louisiana helped set the stage for advances on a national scale.
The Civil War had just ended, and Louisiana was considered a testing ground for policies to bring the rebel states back into the Union.
President Abraham Lincoln really saw Louisiana as what could be the model for the rest of the country.
A unique time as black men were voting, holding office, and writing a unique constitution integrating schools, all done nearly 1 century before the rest of the country.
A More Perfect Union is now a permanent exhibit at the old state capitol, telling the story of Reconstruction after the Civil War.
We're really proud of it. It talks about a period in history that very few people really know a lot about.
Mary DeRusso is the director of the old state capitol and explains that time in Louisiana immediately following the Civil War.
Abraham Lincoln pointed out that Louisiana had passed a constitution that was going to mandate education for black and white children.
Louisiana was changing fast, with newly freed black men being allowed to vote, hold office, and influence policy.
Sadly, it doesn't happen because Abraham Lincoln talks about that in his last speech from the White House, and John Wilkes Booth hears it. 3 days later, Abraham Lincoln is dead, and the future of our country changes completely.
One important exhibit focuses on new amendments.
The rewriting of the 1868 Louisiana Constitution started an integration of Louisiana schools nearly 100 years before the rest of the country.
This illustrates the 3 critical pieces of legislation that came out of Reconstruction. So the 13th Amendment abolishes slavery. The 14th Amendment grants citizenship to anyone who's born in the United States. So that is where the concept of birthright citizenship begins. The 15th Amendment clarifies that the right to vote can't be denied due to race, color, or any previous condition of servitude.
Another major part of the new exhibit highlights the rise of black politicians in the short time after the Civil War, like C.C. Antoine, who served as lieutenant governor and became a state senator, and a man named PBS.
Tell me about PBS Pinchback.
He was the second African-American governor in the state, and he served as the first black governor, but it was a very short period of time. So many things happened during Reconstruction in such a very short period of time. The war ends. Lincoln is shot. Black people are coming into their own in the political sphere and being elected to office.
Displays also show the violent backlash that followed those initial gains. Powerful artifacts from the personal sword of Governor Pinchback to the chilling sight of a KKK robe. There was a literal fight over progress and resistance.
It's got the good and the bad and the ugly, and some of it's very chilling, but it's a very fair exhibit and very hands-on, and got some wonderful photographs and some good explanations.
Federal troops were even called to protect black voters from white supremacist violence, which often turned Louisiana into a battleground for competing visions of post-war society. And that historical information is finally on display.
I think it's great because there's a lot of information that we're not really aware of regarding what happens after the Civil War. And I think it'll be great for students to come by and take a look at the history of Louisiana and the role Louisiana played.
Patrons from around the world and the locals are seeing the exhibit and learning a crucial part of Louisiana history.
What do you think about the old state capitol?
It's my most favorite building in the whole state. I don't know any other building that's this beautiful.
Well, I always appreciate history. I love history. I think, especially when it comes to the Civil War, especially what comes after, it's really talked a lot. So I would love to have this exhibit so that more people can learn what happened afterwards.
To see where the battle for equality truly began, you can now get a first-hand view at Louisiana's old state capitol.
A More Perfect Union exhibit is free to the public and now a permanent part of Louisiana Old State Capitol Museum. And you can stream Becoming Thurgood, America's Social Architect. It's from our partners at Maryland Public Television and is free at pbs.org. And we have some great news to share. This is the 30th year that LPB is honoring a special group of young people who have gone above and beyond to help others.
That's right. Our 2026 Louisiana Young Heroes are exceptional students who are role models in their communities. So let's meet them right now, beginning with Jaden Armstrong of Baton Rouge, Marley Ozan of Lafayette, and Andrew Chambers of New Iberia,
Charlotte Gomes of New Orleans, John Parker of Bush, Maylee Stanley of Glenmora, and Brooklyn Warner of Ponchatoula.
They join the ranks of 236 students who have been recognized by LPB with this honor. LPB's Louisiana Young Heroes program is presented this year with the generous support of presenting sponsor, the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, title sponsor, the William J. Doré family, with additional support from Community Coffee, Demco, and McDonald's.
And LPB will celebrate the achievements on Louisiana Young Heroes Day in April. And over the next few weeks, we'll highlight these young heroes right here on the state we're in. You can learn more at lpb.org/heroes.
A big congratulations to them. That's our show for this week. Remember, you can watch anything LPB anytime, wherever you are with our LPB app.
And you can catch LPB news and public affairs shows, as well as other Louisiana programs that you've come to enjoy over the years. And please like us on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
For everyone at Louisiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Christina Jensen.
And I'm Johnny Atkinson. Until next time, that's the state we're in.
Support for Louisiana, the state we're in, is provided by
Entergy Louisiana is strengthening our power grid throughout the state. We're reinforcing infrastructure to prepare for stronger storms, reduce outages, and respond quicker when you do need us, because together we power life.
Additional support provided by the Fred B. and Ruth B. Ziegler Foundation and the Ziegler Art Museum, located in Jennings City Hall. The museum focuses on emerging Louisiana artists and is a historical and cultural center for Southwest Louisiana. And by Visit Baton Rouge and the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting and viewers like you. Thank you.